Wow, good journey as an artist. Okay, I will. I'll try not to be a smart ass and twist your question, because the truth is that I never wanted to be an artist. I do put that on my passport, you know, when you cross the border and you have to put your professions. I put artist because it sums it up. But I wanted to be a storyteller, and that's what I think of myself as. I found pictures was my natural language. You know, I drew since I can possibly remember, and over and on everything. And I never thought about it. I just assumed everybody did it. So I didn't bother taking it in school or anything like that. I learned English, and I studied really hard, and I wrote big short stories and fat novels and did radio plays, and, you know, because I really wanted to be a writer. I really wanted to get stories out there in words. And then just these pictures kept flowing off my desk. And then finally it was when I was going to either university to study to be a writer journalist, or art school, just because I wanted to get into something. So I applied to both, and I got into the art school. And it felt very weird for a long time. Yeah, just to take all my words and all the story stuff, put it over here, and then use my pictures to help tell other stories that other people wrote. And man, was I jealous. Really, I wanted to do that job. And after a long time, 10 years of doing that, I stopped being jealous. And I realized that, yeah, we're as much the storytellers as the people with the words. Those pictures are just, you know, it's grammar and vocabulary there too, right? And then I got a chance to come work in the film industry. And I wasn't going to do it because now I was an illustrator, illustrating the classics and great books. And you're paying me how much? And it was like a telephone number, right? It's crazy. But better yet, they said, you get your evenings and you get your weekends. And I realized, I can write. I can write. So since then, that was 1990. I have this double life where I write books, I write screenplays, and during the day, I concept design, I illustrate, I do pictures. And now, at this age, I'm 60 now. Now I take those two things and I realize there's not really much difference, other than it's either a story you came up with or a story that someone else did. And I'm kind of done doing the stories someone else came up with, unless I really have a personal way of telling that story. Otherwise, yeah, I sort of want to do my own now. So I think I'll concentrate on that for the next little while. We'll see where that leads. That's changed too as I got older, mostly because I was trying to understand why does Star Wars connect with so many people? That's crazy. You know, I was too old for it when I grew up. I grew up on Dune, the book, and lots of other hardcore stuff, and it didn't really, Star Wars when it came up felt like a lighter family version of that to me. So, but now I've seen it around the world everywhere. Everyone loves it, and why? Why is it? So there's something in the storytelling that has to be universal and connected. And I kind of, the answer to that now for me is that when George wrote Star Wars, I think what he did, and this relates to why I think storytelling is important in general, I think what he did is he took all these great moments from lots of stories, and he kind of went threw them down in this big space opera of his. So there's the kind of hero and the villain, and it's a love story. It's almost a teenage love story, but there's this mystical thing called the Force, and there's this terrifying thing, Man in Black, Darth Vader. And he didn't bother to connect the dots too much. He just left them there. And we're not creatures of chaos, we're creatures of order. So we saw it and we kind of went, well, then this must be this, and he did this because of this, and oh my God, this, and this, and it's his sister, I better rewrite that part. And you know what I mean? We each wrote our own Star Wars based on how we filled the dots together. And I think that's what made it really powerful, is we wrote our own stories. And that got me thinking that, wow, where'd we learn that? They didn't all come to THU and, you know, take Ed Hook's acting class and all this stuff to learn how to make a story. So storytelling is in us, right? And now I really think that from the moment you're born, you write a story for yourself of who you are, and how you feel about the world, and what your values are, and what kind of friends you want, what kind of awesome things you want to do, who you're going to fight with, and, you know, what kind of old lizard you're going to be. You write that stuff, and you made it up. And then you spend the rest of your life trying to make it come true. You find the kind of friends that make you feel the way you do. And, you know, when you run into a bad situation, you try to come out of it with the lessons that will shape you to the person you want to be. And I think there's things that happen in life that shake us. You know, it wasn't supposed to turn out that way, or we did something that's not on your list. And you have to stop for a moment and rewrite your story, revise it all. And that's a good moment, because it reminds you that you made it up. And you have the power to write it any way you want. So I think it's so important now for people to learn to tell really good stories so you can have a really good life. What would I tell myself? That's a really good question. Because I would like to go back in time, you know? I think it's more, I'd like to see my 14-year-old self. Because I remember him one way, and then I look at the facts, and it's like, oh, you're a little shit. Oh my God. I didn't want to go back and tell him what to do, because I know doing all those things shape who I am today. But I'd like to see if it's true, or maybe I remember it worse than it was. I just, I think I'm the sum of all the nice people that I've met that taught me really good things and morals and values and stuff. Yeah, I know what would I go back. And I wouldn't tell him anything. I'd go back and hang out with him for a while, and I'd draw with him, and I'd see where he was worried and nervous, and I would just try to remind him that it's okay, it's all good.